Hey everybody, doing a mic check. Let me know in chat if you can hear me, if I'm coming through okay. If not, then you probably can't hear this, but yeah, let me know. Got the thumbs up from Bingo. Cool, I'll be on in just a moment. All right, hello everyone. Oh, we got some follows. We got quite a few there. Sending the javelin over. Hope everyone is well tonight. Let me call out these follows here. I don't want to forget you all. Let's see, Baralt35. Thank you for that follow. And Bear167. Am I getting that right? Hopefully so. Salute to you both for the follows. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't checked out my channel, please give it a follow if you like what you see here. So I am Starjump Grim. I am one part of the Starjump team. You may know us through Starjump Fleet Viewer. You may know us through our Starjump fan-made cinematics. You may know us from some of our content shows like Starjump Station, Shipyard, Fleet Builders, all stuff we are very eager to get back to. But yeah, sometimes I do these streams and we just do some casual, kind of casual stream of thought sort of discussions surrounding Star Citizen. Our other shows like Fleet Builder and Shipyard and stuff are much more pre-planned and kind of topic-based, and there's show notes and all that stuff. But these streams that I do sort of just on a whim like this are very much just kind of top of mind and something for us to all kind of be involved with. So feel free to be active in chat, ask questions. I'll try to snag them when I see them. Oh, Reese subscribed with Prime. They subscribed for 15 months. Reese, thank you so much. Definitely a we right there. Thank you so much, dude. I hope you are well. Thanks for hanging around and sticking with me and the other Starjump crew for so long. So thank you so much, Reese. And shout out to others in chat. I see we've got Bingo Winchester always showing up, hanging out, supporting. We've also got Memoriam, Shimpasta. Shimpasta, hope you're well, man. Ape in Space. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out tonight. So what are we going to get up to tonight? It's probably going to be a little bit of a continuation of Monday's discussion, which is sort of analyzing the ILW trailer. If you were hanging out with me on that stream, we had Execute from the Info stop by and jump on chat with me. And we talked about some of the stuff shown in the teaser for Invictus launch week. I have some additional thoughts on some of the stuff I've seen as I've watched it more and more, so we may talk about that. And I'm starting to get a clear picture of what my plans are for Invictus launch week. I'd love to hear what your plans are. If you have any ship purchasing plans, CK, am I saying that right? I hope I'm saying that right. Greetings from Bavaria, Germany. Well, greetings to you from Columbus, Ohio. I hope you are well. Thanks for coming by and stopping by and hanging out. Real quick, I will say, if you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do click thumbs up on all my videos. If you enjoy them, if you truly enjoy them, um, I really appreciate it. Some of the most recent videos, the shipyard videos, I did one on the Banu Merchantman and the Crucible. They really kind of started downtrending on views, which was a little disheartening, especially with all the work that went into them, as compared to the first in that series, which was about the Kraken and Endeavor, which trended really well. So you don't know how much that means for you all to watch them, give them that thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube magic behind the scenes. So again, I really appreciate it. Bingo says ship plans. Oh yeah, yes. We're going to talk about some ship plans. I'm going to bring up my fleet and fleet viewer. We're going to talk all about that. That being said, and I think we're starting to get a clear picture of what's probably coming out either in the 323 cycle or the Invictus push. And possibly Alien Week, maybe. We'll see. Alien 1337, greetings from Switzerland. Greetings to you as well. Thank you for showing up, hanging out. Like I said, anyone on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. For those of you over on Twitch, if you have not followed the channel, please give the channel a follow. I really appreciate it. All right, let's jump into this. Where to start? We're going to start back at... well, actually, I got something kind of fun I can show real quick. So, for those that don't know, I will be attending Equinox, which is coming up very soon. It is June 1st. As a matter of fact, I'll bring up the site here. Stand by. Let me switch over. It's a giant Star Citizen community event called Equinox. It's held every year in Columbus, Ohio. This year it'll be June 1st, taking place at the big Center for Science and Industry Museum, or otherwise known as COSI. And it's a really big event. There's going to be over 300 people there, 130 PCs set up with Star Citizen for a massive LAN party. There's going to be possibly CIG folks in attendance, tons of booths, giveaways, all that kinds of stuff. There's going to be a huge Star Jump booth. It's going to be really cool. I've been putting a lot of work into it, so if you are there, if you're going to Equinox, definitely stop by the booth. You'll be able to meet me. I think Bingo Winchester in chat is going to be there helping me out with the booth. You can look for any of us. We'll be wearing Star Jump shirts, and obviously stop by and say hello. The one cool thing though is we have this big 10-foot by 8-foot banner that was made that I designed, and I will show that to you now. This will be the banner for our booth. I just got it in today. It's, obviously it's going to be on a stretch frame, so it'll be all nice and crisp, but it's really huge. This is 10 feet wide by 8 foot tall, really massive, showing all the ships flying past. I think I got the Polaris in there, the Idris, the Merchantman, the Pioneer, the Kraken, the Javelin, and the Bengal, and a few ships on the Kraken for good measure. I can actually show that image a little better. Let me bring that up. Thank you, Kay. I did put a lot of work into it, so I'm glad it's got a good reaction. Let me show you the original artwork for it here in a nice clean format. Here we go. So that's the actual artwork I created for the back banner. I was pretty happy with how it turned out. I kind of made it quickly and on the fly. But you know me, anyone who knows me knows I'm a massive fan of many of these ships, especially the Kraken. Talking to a major Kraken fan here, so I wanted to do something with that, and obviously Star Jump Station, which we have a discussion show here on Star Jump on our YouTube channel called Star Jump Station, and that is Star Jump Station there in the background. I kind of wanted to put that in there. So anyways, definitely go to the Star Jump booth. If you're anywhere near the Columbus, Ohio area around June 1st, you should really get tickets to this event. It's going to be killer. And when they do hit their limit on tickets, they stop selling them. So, there is a hard limit. So try to get your tickets when you can. All right, let's go back to good old Hanger Link, Star Jump Fleet Viewer. Let's talk about, I guess before we go into before we go into my plans, let's bring up that trailer again. And I know some of you were copying and or pasting in chat there some of your plans. I want to hear about those. We're going to circle back to those, so bear with me. Okay, here, let's see. Okay. Get my Windows set here. All right, we are going to watch this again with audio. Hope that's okay, but we're going to go ahead and get into the Invictus spirit. All right, so we had a lot of really cool ships showcased in there. We're going to get to those and how those could affect my fleet and maybe how they affect your fleet. Just catching up on chat here. Says Ninja, salute to you. Hope you are well. Yes, I have a serious Kraken habit. Max Flash Heart. Yeah, so I am getting some custom Stargent Fleet Viewer mouse pads made. I'm pretty excited about that. Bingo says, are tickets at the door or do they mail them? Did we find out? We didn't, but Shadowkin's on Yacht Club tonight. I will send him a message in a little while, Bingo, and get that answer for you, bud. I will definitely find that out. Yeah, CK, I am also a huge Polaris fan. You will see when I load up my fleet here shortly that the Polaris is a ship I own. It was a ship I had to kind of do a lot of finagling to actually get as well. It's kind of a long story. I had to have CIG's help actually on that one. But I'm a huge Polaris fan, and we will definitely talk about that. That's how they did it at Equinox. What's Reese says you usually pick them up at the door, but they also email codes to us last year to show people at the desk. That's how they did it, Equinox West. Okay, cool. So yes, I do remember going to the door on the Equinox I went to, and they had my lanyard at the door. So yeah. We'll get it worked out. I'll ask for sure. So we're going to skip back here to the back. So obviously the big showstopper in the trailer is the RSI Polaris. We talked about this 2 days ago when we were streaming. Kind of a big deal to show the RSI Polaris in this trailer, primarily because it's the first time we've seen the Polaris exterior actually, I don't want to say just modeled, but actually visualized in the engine or in 3D. Previously, when the Polaris was shown back in its early concept days, the Polaris was a simple model rendered with painting on top. So they painted over it in Photoshop to give it the detail. So we've really never, up until this trailer was released, we never really seen what the exterior of the Polaris was supposed to look like. My big concern with that was that I really loved the direction that the Perseus and the Galaxy took. Both of those ships, I believe, are Gavin Rothery ships. You should go to our Starjump station where we had Gavin Rothery on as a guest. Really great episode. But I was really hoping that they were going to take some design cues from the Perseus and Galaxy, not in terms of whole design or anything, but in terms of just the way the panel lines and colorings and greeble all worked. And it does look like they carried that over here into the Polaris. It looks like they took a lot of the stuff, the panel lines, the little bit of greebling detail, looks like they carried that over from those ships into the Polaris. Super happy to see that. But again, it's a big deal to see this ship in this way. It's the first time we've really truly seen it, where it wasn't you know, in that sort of painted over look. Obviously, the Polaris is going to be a pretty important addition to some people's fleets if they haven't already purchased them. I think it's going to be probably one of the biggest sellers during ILW this year, simply because it's coming down the pipe, right? It's not far off. Most likely it's an end of year. Sorry, everyone, just bringing up some windows. Most likely it's an end of year thing. For IAE or something, so people are going to be excited about that. And whenever there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, they're going to want to try to pick up that ship while they can, because obviously it's going to, when it goes flight ready, it's going to be more expensive. Now, for those of you in chat, here's a little bit of news. If you are interested in a Polaris, the Polaris is $750, by the way. If you are interested in a Polaris and you don't want to spend $750 and you want to spend somewhere more in the $375 range, you should message me. I have contacts, trusted contacts, high-ranking members of Starjump that have Polaris, several Polarises for sale for the very low price of $370, $370, that come with LTI, of course. Many people have bought from this person before. They are very trusted, and I could get you hooked up with a heavily discounted Polaris, almost half of what you would normally pay. So just throwing that out there. So that's the Polaris. Let's go to some of the other ships and vehicles. We're going to briefly talk about them because I think they will play a role in a lot of our plans, right? A lot of us, and both myself and those of you in chat. Let's see here. Shimpasta Gib Kraken. Of course, that is the show. That is my stream and show motto is Gib Kraken. We need the Kraken. Star Citizen is a game that really only exists so the Kraken can exist. That's not a joke. That's serious. I'm dead serious about that. Without the Kraken on the horizon, Star Citizen is just a game, right? Let's be honest. Okay, so Artex has got my Polaris for $250. Oof, that's amazing. That's amazing. Let's see here. Misspelled Javelin. Who misspelled Javelin? Who misspelled Javelin? Did I misspell Javelin? Where did I spell Javelin at? Oh, Reese, you bastard. Well, you know what, Reese, we're going to talk about the Javelin a little bit tonight. We are going to talk about that because I've been considering one. Okay, I've been considering one. Okay, so don't worry about it, CK. My English isn't that great either, and I was born in America. My English is pretty terrible, so don't you worry about that. Okay, so we need to stop on this frame. People sometimes forget, but one of the big things for ILW in the 323 patch are going to be both the F7C Mark II and the F7A Mark II, both pictured here. Those of us that have done the Overdrive event, you're going to get your F7A. You're going to get your upgrade token to upgrade your C to that. I think there's going to be some people picking up the C. Excuse me. And I think that, the big controversy is, hey, MZ1, hope you are well. Salute to you. Thanks for joining us. But the big question will be is if CIG plans on selling the F7A Mark II, the military variant. I think there's a lot of controversy around that. I personally, like I said the other night when we got streamed, I think they probably should sell it. But what they should do is give everyone who did Overdrive their F7A now, and then maybe they start selling it to everyone else at IAE, right? So down the road a little bit. Give us who did the Overdrive event a little bit of exclusivity, but not past IAE, at the end of the year. But we can't forget about those two ships. Those are ships going flight ready, the S7A. So next ship here, we're going to fast forward a little bit to this. Again, as we talked about the other night, the NURSA, which is the Ursa Medical Rover. This is the medical variant. You're seeing the back right here. And then, of course, looming in the shadow here of the mighty Polaris. Next ship we'll talk about is this one here. It's not really a new ship. This is the Argo MPUV. I don't look at this as a new variant. It's got the big tractor beam on it. I don't look at this as a new variant. I look at CIG as finally launching the Argo MPUV as just a modular platform. So you will buy the base version and then the modules you want. I think this will be the same thing with the Retaliator. We know the Retaliator is going to have its modularity. I think they will do away with being able to buy the bomber per se, and you will just buy the base package with the modules there. Okay. Then of course more shots of the Polaris. Nothing wrong with that. Again, I think it's going to be a big deal. Showing off some of the beards. I think that was the mainstay. So there we go. We got a couple of the new ships that they've hinted at. There's also some additional hints. Let me close this here. Let's go to I'm going to go ahead and bring in, let me go ahead and calculate my hangar here. And then we'll bring that up and we'll look at plans. Let me ask you this, who in chat is aiming to pick up a Polaris? Anyone in chat gunning for that ship? Let me know while this imports my hangar. Okay, here. Bingo's 50-50 on the Polaris. I'm assuming, well, war bond or credit, obviously. Anyone wanting to go war bond, obviously, get a message out to me. I can save you some money. Okay, let's go to Hangar Link, and then let's Fleet Viewer. Oh, it didn't work. Let's go. Let me back up a minute here. Sorry. Why didn't that work? That was weird. Here, and then... Oh, okay, there we go. Disconnected for a minute. Mirko, going to or already has? Who is going to pick up a Polaris at IAE? Is that something... Is there anyone in chat where that's the ship you're targeting? Or is anyone targeting a capital ship in general? Targeting Idris, Javelin, Pioneer? Well, they don't sell the Pioneer during ILW, do they? I don't think they do. Can't remember. Citizen says, I upgraded an LTI links to Polaris for $275. Finished at CCU chain last year. That's great. That's amazing, yeah. Arctic says, with the Zeus and Polishing stage, I wish they'd get released at ILW. Yeah, I wish so too. I just think it's a little early for the Zeus yet, according to the work they have got done on it so far. Oh, that's interesting. This is not working. Why is this not working? Sorry, everyone. Bear with me to figure out why this is not loading my stuff. By the way, if you have a question, just put question in brackets so I can see it. Captain Black Wolf, hello. Greetings. I want to see if this works. If not, I have a save file. Shimpasa says, do you think we'll get any ships with QT drives this ILW? That's a great question, Shimpasta. I don't know. I mean, right now, it doesn't look likely. Especially if you're asking if we'll get any new ships. I feel fairly certain we're going to get the, I think this is spelled out in their what you call it, their roadmap plans, but we will get the Retaliator, obviously, the updated one, the gold standard, which does have some significant changes. Why is this not updating? Everyone, bear with me. It's just taken a while to update. Interesting. While that's doing that, we'll go back to the full face here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now we know that the Mirai Pulse is coming with 323. By the way, both of those are prepped for Stargent Fleet Viewer. We're ready to push them. Oh, someone sent the Javelin overhead. Who was it? It was Navarakoleth. God, I hope I got that name right. Thank you for that follow. I really appreciate it. Salute to you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sending the Javelin over, stretching. Thanks for that stretch. I appreciate it. Yes, and YouTube viewers, if you're enjoying it, please hit the like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind popping over to Twitch, definitely hit my Twitch and follow me there as well. I'm not sure if that will register or not. Let's see if it does. Oops, nope. I meant to post. Stand by, everyone. Our YouTube channel sees great growth, trying to get more attraction on Twitch as well. Feel free to follow. But yes, anyways, I think new ships though. So we have the Ursa, the medical Ursa. We'll have the Mirai Pulses. We'll have the Argo MPUV modular, which again isn't a new ship. We could possibly get the Retaliator. I think we will. I don't know if we're going to get any new ships. Like Execute said on the stream 2 days ago, we had a pretty lean Invictus last year, right? We had a pretty lean Invictus then, so we may not. Okay, so Fleet Viewer is working. Let me add my ships here. Okay. I'm going to zoom out here. This is my current fleet. Now, there is a couple of things wrong with this that I need to add. One is I do have an Ursa. And let's switch to the... And I do have a C8X. They came with my Carrack, which is here. So I'm going to put those right next to it. But yes, that is currently where I'm at on my fleet, so we'll get down and sort of discuss this a little bit. Charles DCI, I just emailed you about a Polaris gram. Great, Charles, I will get you in contact with the person I am talking about. I can give you my word that they are 100% reputable and reliable. They are a dear friend of mine. I've bought many ships from them. I've actually bought... Perseus, Nautilus, Orion. I got and my Corsair. I got all those ships from this person, so I will email you and reply back. I know they are selling. Let me just confirm that, by the way. They are selling a Polaris for 370, I believe. 370. Cool. Yeah, no problem, Charles. I got another question here from MZ1. Do you think the MPUV is a Mark II, or will they take away the old ones and give us the modular ones for free? So, MZ1, I think what's going to happen is if you have the MPUV that's the cargo variant, then you will just have I think you'll have the cargo version in your hangar because they're going to keep that as a SKU. They're just not going to have that SKU available anymore to purchase. Any new player will just be able to purchase a MPUV base, excuse me if I can talk here, as well as any other module they want. It just so happens with yours, you will already own the cargo module, right? It'll be listed in your hangar though as an MPUV cargo because it's a SKU and they're not going to retire those. And the reason they're not going to retire they're not going to convert your SKU because I think that would cause an absolute nightmare with their kind of buybacks and system and all that. So what I think you're going to see is you're just going to see them add new SKUs for the Argo. New SKUs. Great question though. And I think that'll be the same way I think that'll be the same way with the Retaliator. I personally hope that is the same thing that happens with ships like the Avenger and stuff like that. They sort of retire the old SKUs. They still exist in your hangar, but then going forward, you buy it in a different way, or essentially new SKUs. So you'll buy the Avenger base, and then you can buy which is a little cheaper than a current Avenger, but then you pay the $10 or $15 extra to outfit it with whatever modules you want. I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm actually surprised CIG hasn't talked about that at all. CK says, oh my god, what a fleet. So I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about my... Oh, Mirko asked a question here I do want to hit on. Think we'll ever see anything about the Apollo? Yes, I do. And I think we'll see something this year. I think it is in active development. I was really thinking it was going to be an Invictus launch week ship. I'm less certain of that now. I put it at about a 15% chance of it being at ILW. However, I do think the Apollo is on its way. I think it's coming. If I had to guess, the Apollo is the ship that will be picked up by the same team doing the Zeus, and they'll pick it right when they finish the Zeuses towards the Q3 of this year. I think they'll then move on to the Apollo. Personally, I think the Apollo was taken up to a pretty solid white box, and then they paused it. So yes, so this is my fleet. I can go ahead and tell you right now, my fleet is always in flux. I've made some decisions that I made a couple smart decisions, and some of these ships are what I refer to as rolling credit, right? So they constantly exist in my hangar to be melted, and something new's purchased, I melt that after a while, etc. I have done a lot of really creative CCU chains to get some of these ships at an extremely cheap cost. Some of them I was able to buy from this person in question for over half off. For example, the Merchantman is a ship that I also bought from that person and got an incredible deal on it. The Idris was a ship that I was able to do some real finagling with on credit in order to snag it. The Orion was a ship I got for half off through someone. So I think the only two ships that I actually paid full price for were the Kraken and Pioneer. Everything else I got at a pretty substantial discount. So, Shimpasta says, do you think CIG will redo the Connie? I don't, Shimpasta. I think they're actually pretty happy with the Connie. I think they know it needs some changes. I think it will get a gold standard rework. If the gold standard rework happens during this phase of RSI family of ships work, that'll be good to see. Part of me thinks that they're going to put the focus, though, into getting new ships out for RSI because they have a lot to cut. RSI and MISC are the same in that they have a lot of ships to catch up on. So it'll be interesting to see. I personally would love them to do the gold standard pass on the Connies and get them up to snuff, maybe redo the interiors a little bit with new texture work and paneling. I would love that to happen to the Connies. And I'm not a big fan of the Connies, but the reason I would hope they would do it is because when they do eventually get around to the Anvil family of ships, I hope they go back and bring the Carrack up to standard. So, but it's a great question. I wouldn't be shocked if we hear something about it, though. Shimpa says, any way to CCU up to a Kraken? It's a great question. I bought my Warbond, so I did not do the CCU journey with the Kraken, so I'm probably not the best person to ask. However, I know there's a really good site for CCU chaining. I mean, obviously you can do some of that with Hangar.link. There's another site that's really good at it. Let's see here. Let's see, Lady Space Patrol says Apollo at Invictus. No, Lady Space Patrol, I don't think we're going to get the Apollo at Invictus. I think it's a little early for the Apollo. I'm speculating on that, though. Sometimes I get some inside information. I don't have any inside information on the status of the Apollo. Which maker do you think they will focus on after RSI? So I heard rumblings. I don't know totally how accurate this is, but I heard some rumblings that they were considering either MISC or Anvil. I could definitely see MISC being one they do because they actually have a lot of ships they need to catch up on with MISC. So they have the Expanse, they have the Odyssey, they of course have the Endeavor, they have the hull D and the hull B, the hull D, and the hull E, and then I think there's another one in there, right? And then whatever other new MISC ships they come up with. Let's see here. Darkness and Bingo says no CCUs anything above 750. There you go. There you go. Let's see. Wish they'd revisit the freelancers and redesign them. I don't think they'll get a redesign, but I do think they'll get another sort of gold standard level pass where they do change some things. So let's go back to the fleet here. Obviously, this is the fleet. I will kind of go ahead and push in here and talk about some of these ships. PTV and Mule, just sort of have those to have them. I don't really know why they're there. I think the Mule will be a great little runabout at my homestead. Those of you that know me know that I'm big into base. I'm going to be big into base building, and so having ground vehicles and stuff at the base is going to be pretty cool. Oh, Kajimit, Sergeant Graham, hi, I increased your viewers. I used to stream viewers org fireworks really climbed your stream up a lot. You can try it. I don't know who you are. And that seems kind of sketch, right? Alright, stand by everyone. Okay, and alright. Solved. Got it. Yeah, bot, and it's now gone. So the banhammer was wielded. Dragonfly Yellow Jacket, I always wanted one of those, and I was able to get one through a friend, so really appreciated that. X1 Force, now this is a ship that will definitely get melted. I won't have this long turn, so I'm going to drag that one over here. This is going to be a sacrificial ship. C8R Pisces, I'll always keep this. Super useful ship and one that still sees a lot of usage even now. Anvil Hawk, this is a funny ship. So I am really interested in Bounty Hunter gameplay, but it's not why I really own this ship. It's just this ship to me feels like a Decepticon. 100% feels like a Decepticon. I really love it. I love its design, so I wanted to get it back. I've owned it off and on throughout the years and then melted it, repurchased, melted, repurchased, so I do currently have it. Quattrop says, do you think the Perseus will grow in size when CIG starts making it? Maybe, but if it does, it'll probably be incidental sort of size increases, maybe 5 meters or so, nothing major. The Perseus was definitely built to scale. They already have all the rooms planned out and stuff, so I don't see the Perseus changing wildly in size, but it could a little bit. Okay, yeah, it's a total Decepticon, and the way it unfolds, it's freaking Laserbeak. It is 100% Laserbeak. How could you not love it? Oh yeah, Bingo said it. It's Laserbeak. There you go. Cutter Scout. I like the Cutter series of ships. I've owned all three at various times. The Scout is the one I decided to keep amongst the others. It just felt like it had the most long-term usage for me. So I do see scanning gameplay being really important in the future. So again, the Scout was a great idea. You know, a great choice, I think, amongst the other options. And I also see the Scout being my sort of runabout shuttle on my Kraken. It'll sort of always be parked there. F7C Mark II, obviously this will turn into the F7A Mark II when 323 drops, because I did do all of the overdrive events. F8C Lightning, really cool ship. What can you say? I love flying it, actually. I wouldn't say I'm overly good in using it, but I enjoy flying it, and it's a great. I do think it's kind of a great air dominance of fighter, heavy fighter. The Ares Inferno, this was a ship that I was unsure of for a long time. We actually need to do a new fleet viewer render of this. I'll put this on VMXEO's list of to-dos. But the Ares, I just love flying this thing. It's a lot of fun. I do really well with it, even in dogfighting. It's just great. I can't wait to use it in the Overdrive event, or sorry, the Xenothreat event coming up. SRV. This is one of those ships that I like, but I'm not 100% sure if the reason I bought it is applicable anymore. So I'm actually going to put the SRV in the maybe category, and we'll drag it over here. Of course, next we have the Vulture. Those that know me know I am a massive Drake fan. And I love the Vulture. Such a cool ship. It's really fun to do salvage in it, and the changes they made to the way you know, the salvage things have the cache system now, so they can store up salvage. I just love. So again, not going anywhere. I love this ship. They need to make the Hawk variants. Totally agree. Reese says, wonder if we can tow the damaged Starfares during NXT event and throw them into the Aegis they steal. Be fun to try it. On this front, I do own 2 Zeuses. I own the Clipper and the Mark II, or the Mark. The Clipper I can see being sort of my day-to-day ship, actually. I could see that being the ship that I do 80% of my Star Citizen stuff in. I do love running small cargo stuff, so I could see the Clipper playing a big role in my fleet. The Zeus Mark II, again, I alluded to being a fan of bounty hunting gameplay, so the Mark II, Mark MR, whatever you want to call it, seemed like the perfect ship to own. I did not get the Essential, the Exploration variant, because I have other exploration ships and it just felt redundant. I agree, Artec. The SRV, the gameplay mechanics sort of fell short of my expectations. I do think we might see a revisit on that with CIG, but we'll have to wait and see. Charles DCI says, what kind of ship do you think Drake should make next? Personally, I think Drake should make a big cargo ship and or a large salvage ship. Right now they make the small salvage ship, or the medium, I guess you'd call it, and the Vulture, and Aegis makes the Reclaimer, which is the capital. I think we need a large salvage ship, something like the Arastra, but the salvage version of that, and I think Drake should make it. Next, another 2-ship series I own. I have the Spirit C1 and the Spirit E1. Now the Spirit C1 I have is my day-to-day ship, but as I said with the Clipper, it's going to, depending on how good the Clipper is, I'll either keep the C1 or lose the C1. So what we're going to do for right now is we're going to assume that the CL is good, that the Clipper is amazing, and in that regard, I will melt the C1. Okay, so it'll be melted. Oh, by the way, real quick, everyone, if you pinged me the other day about posters and sent me your information, I did process those today. Okay. Shimpasa says, do you think the Zeus ST exists? If so, what could it be? Yes, I do think it exists, and I think it is I think it's sort of like a sports touring, sort of a touring ship. So think kind of a slightly less luxurious 600i, something like that. That's what I think. Spirit E1, I am into passenger gameplay. I used to have a Genesis Starliner. I melted it. So this is the replacement, and I think I feel pretty confident operating with this within this regime of passenger gameplay. By the way, thanks for everyone for hanging out with me tonight as I go through and talk ships. Feel free to follow the Twitch channel. I really appreciate it. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel. I also appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget to go visit our Twitter. Follow that. We put out a lot of Star Jump news there. Next ship, I've got it named Silverhawk. This 1980s TV show or cartoon, really awesome. If any of you 1980s kids out there remember that. The Corsair was kind of one of my bucket list ships. I really wanted it. It was, if you told me, hey, you need to limit your ships down to 3, the Zeus would, like for example, if someone said you need to limit your ships down to a medium, large, and capital, the Corsair would definitely be one of those 3 ships. Would definitely be the large ship. So, or medium. I guess Corsair's medium technically. It's tricky. It's in that weird size space. Oops. Okay, so that is my Corsair. So I'll be keeping the Corsair. Let's zoom back out here and go down. Okay, so 400i. I don't know why I have this ship. Max Flashheart, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I don't know why I have the 400i. I think I melted something to get that. Oh, Hennepin sending the Javelin over. Thank you for that follow, Hennepin. Big salute to you. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. So I'll move the 400i over because it's probably going to be melted. Fantex stumbled across this channel either yesterday or the day before when you and Execute were talking ILW Possible. Started beginning the stream. Just saying thanks. Also good info on the Crucible. Hey, thank you so much, Fantex. I'm glad you watched the Crucible episode of Shipyard. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I worked pretty hard on that Crucible video. Tried to give everyone something they hadn't seen before in the Crucible, and I was really proud of that one. So, thanks for hanging out with us. Citizen, I agree. The 400i, I actually do really like the 400i. It's just one of those ships I struggle with an excuse to keep. I really do. Hennepin says, closest I'll get to having a Javelin. Yeah, no, I understand. Let's see here. Okay. C2 Hercules, I am a big sucker for cargo gameplay. Love the Hercules series. I'll definitely keep this ship. It's not going anywhere. The Perseus, I was able to get the Perseus at a really good deal. I don't even want to say how much I paid for the Perseus, but it was very low. It was very, very low, like 75% off its full price. Let's just leave it at that. I'm very happy with it. I got it so cheap that it would be stupid to not have it. Next ship is the Galaxy. I think it's kind of silly not to own the Galaxy. The Galaxy to me is a ship that you really can't beat from a value proposition. It's a sizable ship. It looks really nice. It's modular, so it has a lot of flexibility, and its price point is pretty reasonable compared to ships that do everything it can do. So for me, when you're talking about a ship that's worth it, the Galaxy, I personally think the Galaxy fits that bill. I really do. Let me switch to HD mode here. Sorry, stand by everybody. Reload this. Okay. Next ship is the Nautilus. Now this I definitely put in my guilty pleasure ship list. It was a ship that I am very, I was a big Arma 3 player, operated a Milsim unit in Arma 3 for a long time. And I love slow, strategic, tactical gameplay that requires a lot of planning, a lot of forethought, a lot of where it's not about sending lead downrange, but it's about planning. That's how I love to approach combat. And to me, the Nautilus is the ultimate strategic tactical planning ship. But I also love the Nautilus's usage beyond just pure combat. So, for example, I could see sitting out sentries, in a wide orbit around a mining operation, and the sentries are not put out to destroy a ship, but you'll be able to detect when those sentries do activate, and they can act as, say, a warning fence, a trespassing fence, and alert you to incoming possible threats and stuff. So I love the role that the Nautilus can play beyond just like, hey, I'm dropping mines and blowing people up. And I love the design of the Nautilus. The Nautilus just looks really, really cool. It's one of my favorite looking ships, actually. Out of all of Star Citizen, it's one of my favorite looking ships. Next is the Carrick. I got the Carrick. Oh, Beyond the Verse, my friend, you better be saving some for Friday's podcast. Absolutely am. Mainly talking about my fleet tonight. So everyone, just a heads up, I will be on. I will be on the Beyond the Verse podcast on Friday morning. We'll be recording that. Being a guest, we're going to talk about Invictus launch week ships and all that kind of good stuff. So yes, I will. I'm saving a lot for you. Good to see you, man. I hope you are doing well. You run such an awesome podcast, and I'm really loving seeing your success you're having and your reach just expanding each week that goes by. So Liam7 says, any vids you recommend for learning CCU chains? I'm not sure I understand them and feel like I'm going to want some of the bigger ships later on. That's a great question, Liam. We used to have a CCU chain video up that I thought was really good. We actually ended up taking it down by request of Starlet, one of the Starjump members, because some things had gotten out of date. But I do know there are some other great videos out there. I just do not know them offhand. I would personally recommend you go over to the Info Runners Discord, and they have a channel dedicated to that, and they have a large number of people over there on the Info Runners Discord that would love to help with that. They get really big into that stuff. Yes, I'm looking forward to it as well. I will see you there Friday morning. I've got 9 to 11 blocked out for you, so a solid 2 hours. If we record for an hour or an hour and a half, either one is fine. I really appreciate the invite to come on. I feel honored. Next, the Reclaimer. Okay, so this is a ship I never thought I would own. I've always loved the look of it, loved the inside of it. It does need to be brought up to gold standard. But I think... let's see here. As a Beyond says, as a CIG employee, when we expect the Idris. Yes, if only. I will tell you though, I have a lot of, I can't say anything. I do know some stuff, but no, Hennepin, I'm not a CIG employee. But I do have quite a few CIG employee friends. Some stuff I'm told, I never pry, because I have a lot of friends in the game industry. One of my good friends, Rick, for example, is a real high-up person at Bethesda. So he's worked on Skyrim and the Fallout series and Starfield and stuff like that. I have a lot of friends over at Rockstar. And I really, just out of respect for my colleagues, I never really pry for information at all. I'm a big Elder Scrolls fan, so that's the one friend of mine I'm constantly like, where's the Elder Scrolls 6? But anyways, I never really pry, but every now and then they drop information to me that I keep private. But I do know a few things about the Idris and whatnot, but I'll save some of that for the podcast. The Reclaimer was a ship I never thought I would own, though, but I loved salvage so much, and we've done some multi-crew salvage operations with myself, Ender's wife, Sam, and we had a blast. We had a blast doing multi-crew salvage in the Reclaimer. It was actually some of the most fun I've had in Star Citizen, and at that point I was just like, it's silly not to have a Reclaimer, so I moved some stuff around and made it happen. Alright, next. Of course, the Polaris. This was a ship I moved mountains to get. I ended up having an issue with the ship in my hangar. CIG had to step in and help solve it for me. Shout out to Big T.O. for helping me solve that. And I ended up getting a Polaris. It's got like 5 LTIs on it. Beyond the Verse says, have you seen the updates to the Reclaimer? Looks like the rear might be getting a drop ramp. No. Sulcy, send me that link in Discord. I'd love to see what the source is on that. If you have a link, maybe you don't have a link. It's just chatter, but I'd love to know. I'd love to know that, because I do really like the Reclaimer, but it needs some help. But anyways, the Polaris, I'm really excited for it. I think it's just a really cool ship. Love the look. I am a follower of the Dorito, and I just love everything about the internal layout of the ship, all that kind of good stuff. So, and I think it's a good spearhead, front of the line ship. And I think for straight up what the ship is, it's going to be the perfect ship for patrolling. Right, so it's going to be like the the patrolling ship. So yeah, please send that over. Appreciate it. Send it over to me, buddy. Pioneer, again, this is a ship I got 1.5 years ago during an IAE. I am super big into base building. That's another reason why I have the Galaxy for its base building modules. But of course, I was going to own the Pioneer. I do think the Pioneer is going to be how we build possibly underground bases, but also bases in orbit. So the Pioneer was a must-have for me. An easy buy. It's an expensive ship, but I did not regret it. Let's just put it that way. I did not regret it. So the hull D. So as I said with the C2, I'm big into cargo gameplay. I did have a hull C, but I was able to finagle that into a hull D CCU, which I did. Which I still get the hull C as a loaner, but the hull D is kind of in that perfect amount of cargo to sort of fund my capital ship expenses, right? It holds 20,000 SCU of cargo. You're going to make some serious money with that. Between that and the Reclaimer, there's sort of two gameplay options to be bringing in millions of AU or millions of UEC, which we're going to need for capital ship upkeep cost. Merchantman, I own it because it's a really cool ship, and I got this for super cheap. Somewhere around 250 or so. So, just because of what I've got into it, I don't want to lose money. Which at this point, melting it would be losing money because I'd never be able to get it back for that cheap. Finally, I have the Idris. Now I have the Idris K. This is listed as the P. Obviously, I've got the K upgrade kit. Some people have asked why, if you own the upgrade kit, do you still have the P populating fleet viewer from Hangerling? And the reason is because we base it off of SKUs, and the K is not a ship SKU. The K is a weapon pack. That's why the P is what populates in there. We might change that though. We'll look into it. But I own the Idris because, I don't know, it's a cool ship. What can I say? I think the Idris, I love everything about the Idris in terms of its layout. I love the way they design the corridors. I love the hangar. I love that everything's enclosed. I think all that is really great. I also see some of those things as a hindrance. Celsia just got that. Thank you so much. I am definitely going to take a look at that. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's interesting. It does look like a ramp. That's very interesting. There it is, everyone. Is this in 323? I'd be interested to know. Or are we going to talk about that on the podcast? You let me know. So anyways, the Idris was a pretty easy buy for me. I actually never thought I would own one, but I've been doing a lot of side work lately, and money was good, and it ended up being something I could do, so I picked it up. Kraken. This is the dream ship. Everyone that knows me knows the Kraken is my favorite ship. I think it's the best ship in terms of usage. It's a large-scale capital that is flexible. You're going to be able to use it for industrial, military operations. It carries enough cargo to actually have some meat on the bone. You know, at 3,900 some odd SEU cargo, I think, or is it 2,900? I can't remember. Somewhere around that range. It carries enough SEUs of cargo that, you know what I mean, it's got some meat on the bone to actually make money and help offset the upkeep costs of the Kraken. So, SD Yabara lists out his ship there. RSI Misk. Oh, is this the order in which you think they'll make them? Very possible. Very possible. Let's see here. Shifting gears says I'm not seeing an Endeavor in there. I do have an Endeavor in buyback, but I don't have it now. I want to see how the reconcepting of that ship goes. Foxtrot says after watching your video on the Kraken, I had to have one. Well, I'll be honest with you. I do think the Kraken is the most flexible of the capital ships, 100%. And I think if you want a capital ship, but you're a little unsure of where you want your gameplay focus to be, the Kraken is the only real good choice to make. Liam7 says Kraken claims 3,792 SEU. So yeah, there you go. I mean, pretty substantial amount of cargo. So I had to have it. I do have the aftermarket privateer upgrade kit. I haven't applied it. Don't think I would. But yeah, Kraken's amazing. And last but not least, I got the Orion. The only reason I got this is because I had a path to get one for damn near 60% off. So I had to take that leap, mainly just because I didn't want to pass up that opportunity. By the way, everyone, just a heads up, during ILW, we will be updating the Polaris to what the final in-game model looks like. Don't worry, we already have plans to update it. Oh, the Yacht Club is raiding. Party of 120 Yacht Club, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Salute to you. You just sent the Kraken overhead. The mighty Kraken flew over, bringing in the raid. I hope you had a great stream. I was watching your stream for quite a while before I decided to test my setup again. Oh, thank you for the follows, everyone. I see the Javelin flying overhead multiple times, going right over my head. I really appreciate it. We're just talking, we're taking a look at my fleet right now, which is this, and we're kind of talking about why I have some ships, why I don't have some ships, and what decisions may be made at ILW to change some of my fleet setup. T. Neister, though, thank you so much, buddy. Sigelian, Shadowcan, Joran, Stem, Ariana, all my good friends, Citizen Joel, Tinby, everyone coming over. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. For those that don't know me, I am Starjump Grim. I am one part of Starjump. The group, you may know us from Starjump Fleet Viewer, which you should go check out if you haven't already. We also are known for some of our pre-recorded stuff like Starjump Station and Fleet Builders and Starjump Shipyard, which we have 4 episodes out. Kraken, Endeavor, Crucible, Merchantman. Go check those out on our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Give the YouTube channel a follow. I really appreciate it. And what else are we known for? We're known for our charity work. Starjump Ender heads all that up with St. Jude's, doing really great work there. So yeah, Shadowcan, hope you're well, buddy. Can't wait for Equinox. Oh, there's Execute. Execute was just on here with me. For those of you that were watching 2 days ago, Execute was on here talking ships with me. Botox Gaming, so what are you bringing to Equinox? So I will be, well, first off, I'm going to have a full booth. Do I have the booth video? Let me see. Let me bring that up. Stand by. I'll show you, I will show you the booth here. I'll show you the booth setup for those that want to see it. I hope Yacht Club had a good stream. Are you ending a little early tonight? What's going on? What's going on? You seem to be ending a little early tonight for a Yacht Club episode. Okay, this is the Starjump booth right here. Let me back it up for those of you curious to see it. Yeah, this is the Starjump booth. We're going to be doing a giveaway for a custom livery in Starjump Fleet Viewer, which is really cool. We're going to have multiple posters free. All you got to do is come by and visit the booth. We're going to have all kinds of posters, stickers, possibly some challenge coins, all kinds of stuff. I got a big holographic display, all kind of cool stuff. A lot of work went into the booth, so if you go to Equinox, definitely stop by the booth, say hello, introduce yourself. I love meeting everybody. But a lot of cool stuff at the Starjump booth, putting a lot of work into it. Only 24 minutes overtime. Ariana, I hope you're well. Salute to you. It's nice seeing you again. Happily to do it. Yes, I'll Execute. I want to get with you again soon, man. I always enjoy talking ships with you, and sometimes I forget how much fun it is to talk ships. For those that don't know, was it last Citizen Con? Execute was gracious enough to have me on as a guest host for an entire day for Info Runners, and I honestly had a blast. I had a blast doing it. It was a lot of fun. Again, everyone, thank you for the follows. I really appreciate it. You're all amazing. Thank you so much. You were sending the Javelin overhead multiple times. Always like seeing that. I was just talking that the Polaris... Oh, by the way, quick pro tip for any of you that use Starjump Fleet Viewer. Starlet taught me this, and there's Starlet in chat now, so that's perfect timing. If you press off clicky scroll wheel and press the smooth scroll wheel, if you toggle to that, you can scroll in and out really fast in Fleet Viewer. It's really nice. Just heads up on that if you didn't already know that. So yes, for those that don't know, the Polaris, the question is, will we be updating the Polaris for Fleet Viewer? Yes, we will be updating it for ILW. When we get access to the model, we will redo it for Stargent Fleet Viewer so that the final exterior is in there. We are definitely going to be bringing the Mirai Pulse to Fleet Viewer. Those are actually already done and sent to Starlet. We're just waiting for them to go active in the store before we add them in. We'll of course have the Ursa, the medical Ursa. We're going to have the MPUV, and if they've redone that at all, if the Retaliator's got any external changes, we'll make sure to do that. As a matter of fact, I think we need to update the Retaliator in general. So yes, we will be doing a lot of work during ILW to Starjump Fleet Viewer. A lot of the updates will come. We'll get them out as quickly as possible. Everyone give a little shout out and salute to Starlet, who is in chat right now, who makes a lot of that happen. Me and VMXEO will churn out the visuals if it's a concept ship. I will create it. If it's a flight ready ship or it's in the game files, that will come from VMXEO, and then we push those assets to Starlet and she puts them into Fleet Viewer proper. And then usually me and Starlet go back and forth for an hour or two trying to get the scales correct, and then we push it to live. So oh, Shadigan, thank you for that subscription. I really appreciate you, bud. Pops in Space, salute to you. Hope you are well. Someone asked, Spectra, I think you asked this earlier, are you able to tell what size guns are on the model? Okay, so this is probably the biggest thing with the Polaris. So we'll talk about the big elephant in the room with the ship, and that is the guns, the turrets, you know, what has happened to them. The fact of the matter is they're all over the place, and it's the biggest question mark. So originally, in the original concept imagery, the turrets were really small. They were, I think they were supposed to be size 4s or 5s or 6s, something like that. But from a visual standpoint, the actual polygons, they were more like a size 2. They were tiny. Or, you know, so the next time we saw the Polaris with a new model was the Finding the North Star episode of Inside Star Citizen, which was a little over a year ago at this point. And in that episode, you saw turrets that matched this, okay? So really upscaled turrets all over the ship, including the rear position, right? So one under the nose, 2 up top, 2 on the port and starboard sides, and 1 on the rear, and 1 underneath. So an absolutely massive amount of turrets, and there was a lot of hypothesizing that it was going to have the same sort of turret count as the Idris. The next time we saw the ship, though, was its white box stuff at CitizenCon. It was very obvious at that point that the turrets had maybe been brought back down a little bit, been brought back down into scale. And then obviously when we saw the latest trailer on YouTube, the Invictus Launch Week trailer, which I will bring up again real quick so we can look at that. When we looked at that, it then became very obvious that the turrets had changed once again, right? So I'll bring this up. If you go, see if I can pause it at the right spot. You'll see this little boxy thing here at the back of the ship. That is a missile pod, right? I was actually able to grab even a better frame of it right there. That is not a turret. That is or it's a turret, but it's an actual missile pod. So going back to Hangar Link. Let's see here, let me pull, sorry, stand by. Let's drag this tab up. So if you see this little missile pod here, I'll switch over. In the Finding the North Star episode, they had made this a turret. That obviously has been done away with, and this is switched back to the missile pod. Originally the missile pod was in the center position here, so that's been moved back. And it looks like, based off the trailer, if we go ahead in the trailer to somewhere around here, let's pause it. We're going to pause it. No, right here. If you go in and zoom into these look like quad-mounted guns. Now they could be They could be some just bad greeble that's popped off because they're actually floating off the ship a little bit. So there's some, you can kind of see them a little better here, these little barrels up here. They're floating off the ship. They're actually not connected. They're smaller than the size 4 turrets on the Hammerhead. That has a lot of people really concerned. They're starting to think that these side turrets on the Polaris are possibly quad-mounted size 3s, which I believe a quad size 3 would be equivalent to a size 5. The short end of that the short part of this whole conversation, though, is that the Polaris has undergone some serious turret shifting. As a matter of fact, I can pretty confidently say now that this turret arrangement, which is from the Finding the North Star episode, is very much not accurate anymore. That is abundantly clear. So if you're on Star Jump Fleet Viewer, I would not look at this turret arrangement in any sort of accuracy. This is why I'm very eager to get this model updated with whatever the in-game model is for ILW. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I personally think that they're going to switch the Polaris into more of a focused gunboat, and with that, they will bring down its guns so that its focus is on the torpedoes more than anything. Suggesting things will change in SCRE? No, I would never do that. You can kind of see it here too in this image, which I have upscaled. I've upscaled this to, I think, 4K resolution using AI, just giving a little bit more flexibility on the zoom ins. But you can see here the turrets, they have shrunk down in size. It's just a little hard to tell how big they are because the ship's scale is so hard to kind of grasp. Based off my measurements, I do think the Polaris has grown to a scale of around 168 to 172 meters, somewhere in that little area. But it could have grown even beyond that, but that's sort of where I'm targeting now based off my measurements. When we do get the Invictus launch week, or when we do get to Invictus and the Polaris is flying through the verse, I will be able to pull the model and get a perfect measurement of the ship to find out how big it is, and we'll know the turret size and everything now. Last I checked, Urkel still had the turrets listed as size 5s, but they look small for that. But again, it's hard to grasp because you got to remember this little bridge up here. You get that bridge fits 5 people. There's 5 seats in that bridge. So and the bridge is the smallest part of this ship. So when you extrapolate that out, this turret it could be much bigger than we're thinking. It may be kind of playing tricks with us a little bit. So yeah, again, I brought this up a little bit on the discussion the other day with Execute, which was really fun. But you can see a lot of the detail being added here. I went back and looked at some old videos. This door here looks to be the door that the turrets come out of. Based off everything I could see, these are the turret doors. So turrets come out of here. And then up here, I'm assuming this is possibly an airlock. I'm thinking this piece here slides back on these rails, revealing the airlock in there. That's what I think. I am speculating a little bit there. Ace Sigma says, great stream. You were doing the 3.23 waiting time more fun. Yeah. Yes, we're all waiting for it, trying to distract ourselves, right? So, Citizen Joel says the tiny glass bridge nose looks kind of goofy on this size ship. You know, it's one of those things. Some people love it, some people hate it. I really do like it, but I understand a lot of people think it's a little goofy. You know, some people think the way the Perseus and Galaxy bridges are is better, but I do love it. One thing I will say is it does look like they kept a lot of the struts here, which I am glad. I actually do like struts on a ship because it makes me feel like I'm enclosed. It makes me feel like I'm immersed. So, so I'm glad they kept some of that. Let's see here. Speculation citizens are the best citizens. I agree. I mean, the entire game is speculation at this point, right? XS8067 asks a great question. Do I think there's double ramps for the Polaris? I personally do. I think we do have double ramps. I could be wrong. You can see the ramp door right here and the two little lights that kind of light up that area. It is a side opening ramp. We have been shown the ramp on the port side of the ship pretty much forever. We're seeing the starboard side of the ship now, and I think it's interesting that they have these sort of lights here as well. So what I think the Polaris is going to have is a side ramp on the port and starboard side, just so that you can actually go completely through the ship that way. Yes, JJ, I'm definitely not presenting this any more than speculation at this point. I do study these ships a lot because of Starjump Fleet Viewer. I've personally opened every model of every ship and inspected them. And, you know, so I try to speak with as much information as I can. Doesn't mean I don't get stuff wrong. For example, one of the things I don't track regularly like a lot of people is turret sizes and stuff. And primarily because all that stuff shifts and changes so much. I mean, even with this whole gimbal change coming in 323, and now all the ships essentially getting the +1 size on I mean, it's also all over the place. Oh no, JJ, I didn't take that the wrong way, buddy. Let's see, Thrakazog, hopefully I said that right. It is a quad cannon on the side. You can see the side of it. Yeah, that's the way it looks, Thrak. It does look like a quad cannon. I think the real question is just a quad cannon of what size, right? Bear Al, salute to you. Hope you are well. By the way, everyone, if you haven't followed my channel, please do. Feel free to give it a follow. Please go over to our YouTube, give that a follow as well. You know, we have a lot of content over our YouTube channel. Our Fleet Builders episode that I do with Ender. MedDoc, thank you so much. You sent the Javelin overhead. Starjump Station, our discussion show. The Starjump Shipyard videos. Again, I've done 4 of those. Go check those out. Plus my fan-made cinematics I've done. But you can see some stuff me and Ender have done over there, some stuff me, VMXEO, Starlet, and Ender have done as a group, so that's always good. All that stuff's over on YouTube. Thank you for the follow, Shimpsky. That's a great name. Let's see here. YouTube did something. I thought the quad was supposed to be the lower rear and the sides were still dual. Well, the previous time we saw it, Charlie, it was like that. There was a quad on the bottom rear and the sides were duals. It kind of looks like that may have changed. One reason they possibly shrunk the side turrets down into quads with smaller barrels is to fit them inside the ship, though, which I speculate will irritate people. Spectre says, so glad I own a Jav now. Feels good seeing it all the time. It's like I have that someday. Yeah, I agree. Speaking of Javelin, I'll show this. So I showed this earlier. This is for Equinox. So we're going to have the Starjump Equinox booth. And I had a banner made. Really cool banner. I've never made a banner this big. But it's a 10-foot by 8-foot banner. And this is it right here. It looks small here, but it's huge. But the actual artwork is this here, and it's got the Javelin, it's got the Kraken, Pioneer, Polaris, Idris, Merchantman, and a Bengal all flying past Starjump Station. That's going to be the big backdrop at Equinox. So again, if you're at Equinox, drop by the Starjump booth. We'll have all kinds of free stuff, posters and all kinds of stuff. And again, we're going to do a free raffle giveaway. You don't have to buy into it. You just grab a ticket from the booth, and at some point later in the day, I'll draw a ticket, and whoever wins, you will get a custom ship in Fleet Viewer. We used to do supporter ships, like custom ships in Fleet Viewer, and during the development of it, and we turned that off, that perk off after a while. So we don't do it very often, but we're doing it for raffles and stuff. And then Ender just gave 5 custom Fleet Viewer ships away through his St. Jude charity push, which was really cool. He did great work there. The people that donated, you know, they donated a certain amount of money, and we're going to do a custom ship for them in Fleet Viewer. So we're still using the custom Fleet Viewer thing, but we're doing it for charity and Bar Citizen sort of prizes. So let's see here. Yeah, but anyways, that's I'm really excited for Equinox. I think Starjump's going to have a cool booth. But anyways, yes, that is the Grim Fleet. As you can see, I am left with quite a few ships that are meltable. 400i, Spirit C1 most likely, SRV, and the X1. I'll be able to melt those. I'm very likely going to pick up the Ursa Medical. Seems like a smart buy, just to couple that with the Carrick. Shelican says, hell yeah, it's a question we get at Equinox all the time. We cannot sell it with CIG IP on it. That's correct. Yes, I have been asked quite a bit for people to be able to buy posters from me or buy big printouts and banners and stuff. I never do it. I have an agreement with CIG not to sell anything with or attempt to sell anything with their IP on it. I would never do that anyway, as I respect them and their intellectual property. I actually also don't do this for the money in any way. I got a good job. I'm very fortunate. So I just do this for the love of it. And but what we do use our Patreon dollars for is things like rendering. So for our cinematics and our visuals, we will, they do cost a lot to render sometimes. 3D stuff takes a lot of rendering costs to do at high res, especially like 4K. Or in the case of that banner I just showed you, I had to render that at 28,000 pixels. So it costs money. Let's see. Spectra, if you're interested, let me get the Tiltify link. Let me see. Do I have the Tiltify link? Is Ender in chat? I don't know if Ender's in chat. Yeah, I don't know if he is. Visit our Discord. I don't have the link on me. I wasn't prepared. Sorry, Spectra. But if you are interested in donating, join our Discord and we can get you plugged in. Cool. Everyone, that's going to be about it for me tonight. I do have to get some work done, even though I don't want to. Thank you all so much for hanging out tonight. Such a huge turnout. 72 watching over on YouTube. Now 78 here over on Twitch. And such an amazing raid from the Yacht Club. Thank you, Ariana, T-Neister, Joran, STEM. All of you over there for raiding. I know Seg was a guest tonight, so thank you, Seg, as well. Again, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for hanging around. I know we're a little bit inconsistent sometimes with my streaming. I'm going to get better with that. I'm going to start streaming more now so I can connect with you all, and we're working on new content over at Starjump. That much I can promise. Let's see here. Right, Reese, did you post it? Oh, Reese, send it to me in Discord if you don't mind. Could you do that? If you don't mind, sir. So Reese is going to send that to me on Discord, hopefully, and then I will post that. There it is. Thank you, Reese. Reese, I need to give you the ability to post and Twitch. Sorry about that. You can go to this link. This is Starjump Ender's Tiltify link. Go there, donate, and it's for St. Jude's. We do it through the Starjump Guardians thing. Ender heads all that up, and it's just really incredible. The work he's doing over there, raising tons of money, and please go support that if you can. I really appreciate it. Artec over on YouTube says, if you could choose 4 ships, small, medium, large, XL, to be your only 4 ships, which would you choose? Ikumi, thank you for that follow. Appreciate it. You sent the Javelin overhead. Citizen Joel, thank you, and thank you for hanging out. That's a hard question, Artec. I think from a small, I would do the Ares Inferno. Medium, I would do probably the Corsair. Large would probably be the Nautilus, and extra large would be the Kraken. That's, I think, my list. When does the next Shipyard episode go live? Great question, MZ1. I'm working that out. I'm currently working on the next one. It is the Genesis Starliner. I'm having to do a lot of extra modeling, though, way more than I thought, so it is taking a little bit of time. But my aim is to get it done probably out in a month. It's just taking a little longer. Kraken, is the Corsair medium? I don't know. It's a large medium. It's a large medium. I look at large ships as being in the 100 to 125 meter range. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but that's how I look at it. So, wham, bam, it's Stan. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate it. All you following, I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. AMD 300 says, how bad is engineering going to affect my large ships? I think it's going to affect it pretty big. I think it's going to, I love, thank you, AMD. Appreciate it. Star Jump Ender does all the charity stuff and can't thank him enough. I think engineering is going to be a huge deal for large ships and capital ships. A really big deal. So we'll see how that plays out. I know they're doing some testing right now with the A2 and Arena Commander. So yeah, I mean, again, I think it's going to play a pretty big role. I really do. I really do. All right, let's see here. We are going to, you know what? We're going to spread the love here. Stand by. Let me just say too. I'm going to be doing a lot of. I'm going to be doing a lot of coverage for ILW. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of other people will be as well, but I'll be doing a lot of coverage for Invictus Launch Week. Obviously, we'll be covering the Polaris in detail. It's a big sought-after ship, and we're going to try to pull as much information from it with its in-game file as possible. Sorry, CIG. But anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed the stream tonight. We are going to raid, let's raid a smaller channel here. Give them a little love. Please spread the Star Jump love. We're going to raid, let's raid Saber Fox. We've got 23 over there. Let's spread the love and start that. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you for all hanging out with me. I feel very honored you would hang out with me and just talk ships. I'm not even playing the game. You're just listening to me yammer on about ships. So I appreciate it. Everyone, have a great night. I've got to go take the dog out. Thank you again, Yacht Club, for the raid. Thank you to everyone in the Star Jump community for hanging out with me and the continued support. Thank you all. Shadowcan, take it easy, man. Talk to you all later. Salute to you. See you soon.